Welcome back, guys. A dismal, horrible day in the world of football. A disgusting day that has made me feel sick all day, to be totally honest with you. And I'm kind of upset, a bit confused about the world of football at the moment, as most people are. So the European Super League, obviously with the intent to form 15 founder member clubs, 12 of those are known, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man City, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, Inter, and Juventus. And then three others. There's a few other clubs talked about there, but let's not speculate. We don't know who they're going to be. People have talked about German clubs. People have talked about Paris, but no one knows whether any of that's true or not, if they've turned those down or not. The way it's going to look is it's going to be these 15 founding clubs, which are always going to qualify, not particularly exciting. And then 5 other clubs from around Europe are going to get in there and be able to compete with these super clubs. They're aiming to start it in August 2021, which is a very close date to now. I mean, it's next season, isn't it? JP Morgan has apparently backed it with $5 billion. Another big American investment fund. Florentino Perez is going to be the brainchild and the chairman. So it sounds quite sinister. I'm really confused as to what to think on this whole thing. I'm quite devastated. I'm quite upset by it. What do you think on it, Lerick?
Look, everyone said how greedy it is and all of that. And I think it's not different to whatever everyone else is saying. I feel the same. I'm feeling quite, in a way, I thought we quashed it, but I think they didn't act on it. And like everything, I'm going to blame the actual governing bodies that currently are in place. So the UEFA and FIFA, they haven't done themselves any favors, and it's surely due to their incompetence. I absolutely hate the fact that they're doing this, the clubs, but you've got to say that they should have seen this coming. They let them get away with murder all this while. Financial fair play, this, that, and the other, with no regulation. And suddenly they're surprised that something's happened. It's like you let thieves stay in your backyard and suddenly you're surprised that they've robbed you. What else are you expecting if you've let them into your house every now and then and let them do what they wanted to do? They've been doing this for ages, and they've been basically bullying you into making decisions, throwing their weight around, appealing decisions left, right, and center, and overturning them. So why are they surprised? Like this big overreaction suddenly. And I do honestly think that there is a good to fair chance that they might just be doing this to get kind of a deal that they're probably hoping. There's 2 ways to see it, right? One, the European Super League takes off and they break away and do their own thing, which means they're out of the Premier League, they're out of the Champions League, and the rest of the teams participate in that. The other way to see it is you've got the option of maybe they come to an agreement if this thing does. So there's two particularly possible outcomes. If they come to the table, discuss terms and get agreement, I feel like they're going to strong arm them now, because obviously the league's going to be scared of what they're losing. So will the clubs, but then the clubs are backed by these huge investment funds who probably believe in the plan. So they'll be fine. So the clubs have everything to gain. The money that will be lost will kill the smaller clubs and the pyramid structure that they've set up. So it's a disgrace. I think it is. I have no words.
I think the big thing that the clubs who are making this decision are forgetting is the people who watch the game. Every punter, every person I know who watches football enjoys it for the grassroots stuff as well. You love to see someone coming through, someone young or someone old coming up and get a couple of games against a big club in the FA Cup or whatever it is. You love to see someone coming through, or you like to see the minnow clubs qualifying for the Champions League and getting a game against Real Madrid or whatever it is. And that's not going to happen with this new structure. It will never happen. It's scary. Like I don't want to be in a world where you don't get that opportunity and there's no one going to be able to have that opportunity. It's actually really worrying. I mean, UEFA have said, and they've released a statement saying that them and the governing bodies are going to ban people. They're going to ban them from international football with the backing of FIFA as well. But as you said, UEFA and FIFA, we know that they're just bent, corrupt organizations as well. They have been have been for so long. We've talked about that in the past, and it's sad to see that there's this side, and for once I'm backing them to try and be able to do something, because I'm like, I don't care about them at all, but I don't want this to happen. This new Champions League 36 club thing is going to be, I don't even like the new format that they've released just now. Was it 36 games, 10 games each guaranteed for each club, one league instead of any groups? I love the groups because it was kind of cool. You didn't know who you're going to meet next round or anything. Then the best 8 will reach the knockouts. And there's going to be, this is the one that kind of makes me think maybe they are trying to negotiate. There's going to be new spots for elite clubs who don't qualify. Why? Why? Like, I understand these elite clubs need that money to continue being elite, but how does that give anyone else an opportunity to get to that level? It doesn't give the clubs the opportunity to get to that level. So it upsets me. I love Spartak Moscow's tweet. They released a tweet today addressing the fans of every single club, saying that we're looking for more fans, so you're welcome to leave your clubs and come and support us instead. And I think that's brilliant. They're trying to put out a laugh for it. And I wouldn't be surprised if so many of these clubs lose so many fans because of this. Like, I actually want to see Liverpool, I want to see Man United, I want to see everyone fined significantly, but that's not going to help. I want to see them deducted points, relegated. I don't actually.
I want to see. I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to see titles taken off. I want to see them stripped of titles from them. Like, in a way that this should hurt. Like, this should hurt them. I'm talking, and to be fair, I'm saying this, and now as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, do they even care if titles taken off? Because they don't care about history. All they care about is money. So I think it has to have such a significant. It has to have such a big significant financial impact, not historical impact, financial impact, that it should hurt. Like, it should really hurt their pockets.
100%.
And it's clear that they're basically doing this just for the money. So you hit these greedy bastards where it hurts them, honestly. And
as you know, in the world, like, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, unfortunately, and then the poor fade away. That's what happens in the world, in society, unfortunately. And it's happening in the football world. One area I didn't think it would happen, because I thought there's always a space for those minnow clubs. There's always a space for the littler clubs, but it's not gonna be there like this. Are we to blame? Like, we've encouraged these big clubs to continue buying and to continue getting the best players. We could be to blame. Our constant encouragement to buy the next big player is, pushing all that money.
Instead of growing. That's what I mean by the lack of UEFA. I mean, fans are going to be, because it's a broken voice. Like, it's all different people. The lack of the rules around it. That's what frustrates me. Why didn't we have homegrown academy players as an absolute necessity in every season? Why is there, you can buy fucking 11 players from the outside and play them? Why is there 22 players that City have that can basically, the B team can be better than any A team? Like, why is that a thing? Why is there not a thing to say, okay, you want to play 22 good players, play them, but then have 11 of them from your bloody academy, and they should have had been in your academy since they're 15 or whatever. Like why are those things not a thing? Like, use that sort of power you've got in terms of scouting, analytics, and all of that to develop the grassroots of football, rather than just saying, oh yeah, you go here's the TV deal, here's 70% of the TV deal to U6, and then the rest will be given to everyone else in the league. Like, that is a complete failure from the EFL and a complete failure from UEFA. Like, I was saying somewhere, UEFA get 3.3 billion for Champions League, which they divide in terms of money amongst other clubs, right? 3.3 billion. What do you think? What percentage of that do you think goes to the smaller clubs who come in and play their group games and all of that? Absolute, and especially, and how hard would it have hit them when their teams and clubs couldn't be supported during this pandemic? Who would it have hit harder? Banks will always give loans to big clubs because they know that they have a huge fan base. Small clubs can't get bailed out. Yeah. So this whole thing, especially with the greedy, absolute, disgusting bastards in the middle of this, they should get crucified for this. They should absolutely get crucified. All these American owners Russian owners, Arabic owners, Chinese owners, all of these guys, they should be taken to the cleaners for this. All their
Let's
money should be
not
ripped
forget the
out of them.
Spanish owners. Spanish
Yeah,
owners are there
Spanish
too.
owners too.
Three of them.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And not only that, I would like to I'd be, I don't know what, but I feel like if I see any players go down on Thursday to the coming week of the Premier League, go into the ground and stand and say I won't play as a sign of protest because they want to play international, they want to play, they want to do their due diligence of fulfilling their contract so that they don't get in trouble, but they absolutely want to protest, then I'd respect them 100%.
yeah,
Stand there and say
100%.
I would not play a single international game, which is much more important because of this. I don't want to lose that, and so I'm not going to be participating in any of my club games, and 100% back them for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't care.
Well, we don't know. We've got the news of Mourinho, of course, getting fired as well, and there's lots of silly news out there, and who knows if he was fired for his results, which we think it probably is, or if he was fired for the potential reason of he didn't want anything to do with ESL. If that is true, I know it's not probably likely that it is, but if it is, Mourinho is amazing, and I back him 100% because I think if he did stand out against that, that would be great. But again, it's just it is.
Look,
I suppose there's nothing you can say. It's dreadful. It's disgusting. It's appalling, to be honest. It's not nice. It feels like a bad dream, and I think we're sitting here wondering what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in the next few hours that's going to change this. I've got to get up for a Liverpool game against Burnley at 3 a.m. today. I feel so uninspired to watch this game. It's ridiculous.
I might honestly, I might not watch. I don't know yet, and I might be saying this purely out of emotion, but there's a good to fair chance that I might not watch Man United games. It's hard. I mean, if I can feel the way I feel because of the whole dynamic of it, the way they're doing it, basically stabbing clubs in the back, and it's about the greater game. It's not about UEFA and EFL might be terrible people, but at the same time, those smaller clubs, they're not. It's about the I guess it's about standing up to those guys. It's for the sake of the smaller clubs as opposed to anything else. Because if you don't stand together as a majority, you're going to let these greedy assholes run away with it. And to be honest, that just means that I'll be losing respect. So I might not watch their games. I don't know. While I say that if I'm going to be able to keep up with it, but I hope I do. I really hope I do. And I can't even I've not grown up in England or like you guys walked up to matches and watched them in football in the stadiums and all of that, or felt that thing. But I always say this, the reason I supported Man United is when I was growing up, that was a team that got me in love with football. I started playing football and then I watched the team and I was like, I want to play like that. That's what I look forward to, and that's how I fell in love with the game. And so as you grow up, when you have a team that's winning, that's why you've got the Chelsea supporters who started supporting, who's probably watched the game like me in the 2000s and all of that, and who grew up in the 2000s watching Chelsea, and so they support Chelsea. And now you have kids who are probably growing up in this era watching Man City and falling in love with Man City's football, and they'll grow up to be Man City supporters. And you have your only English base doing that for your I guess your smaller clubs, right? Only in England. They've got an international sort of platform because of this whole league and the TV rights and all of that. And you're literally ripping that away from them. Yeah. I would have never found out about Burnley and all of this if I always saw Man United played Real Madrid and all of these other leagues. How would I even know about these small clubs? What would have happened to them? Would that game would you even have that big good English teams and players? Would you have a Michael Owen, a Steven Gerrard, and all of those guys in the same sort of team? Scholes, Giggs, all of them, not Giggs, but all the great English players, Lampards and all of that in the same team? I don't think so. The reason it's such a big breeding ground for local domestic talent, and if you're going to take that away from the smaller clubs, I'm just distraught now. I don't know. Yeah. I'm furious. Yeah. And for that, based on the reports, and who knows if it is what's true and what's not, we'll find out more. But I'm just going to go by what we know for now. Everyone's saying Bayern, Borussia Dortmund have actually officially made a statement, apparently. But well, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to go. But I'm going to say, if Bayern, Borussia Dortmund, and PSG, like people say, haven't signed up for it, then props to them.
Yeah,
fully
agree.
respect their decision. And if they are clubs who are going to who are the big clubs and are sort of walking away from it, I would 100% elevate those clubs, and perhaps even consider supporting them. If I can change my allegiances in some way, if I find it within me to change it, I will 100% do that. And to the likes of clubs like bloody Tottenham and Arsenal, never even won anything in Europe. I mean, the goal to do it, man. Come on, you're like, what else would you expect from a person like, for example, Dan Levy, who just literally came in for the money and is running away with something else? He's just absolutely flat chat, loving life, isn't he? Got nothing, did nothing in his life, got a good coach, basically won all the props because of him. And the reason why I think he did sack Mourinho today is because he knew the spotlight will be on this shit, so he'll get away with sacking Mourinho today. I think it's that. I think he saw the opportunistic, greedy asshole that he is, and he tried to get Mourinho out, because what he thought is, right now there's so much focus on everything else that I can get away with murder. And he slowly he made this decision today. What timing? 6 days before the final, he couldn't have asked for anything else. Everyone's attention is on what? The Super League. No one's going to pay attention to Mourinho being sacked, which otherwise in itself would have been a huge story.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that was bad management for him. Yeah,
it is odd. I mean, seeing Tottenham there is odd. Seeing Arsenal not so much. I mean, they've got a huge history. They're a bigger club than City in a lot of ways. I mean, City's got the money now, but they're a bigger club than City. And Arsenal, really, if you look back at their history, they've won a lot more leagues and they've won the European.
No, I agree with that bit. But what have they even won a Champions League? Both Arsenal and Tottenham.
I think so. I know Tottenham have won 3 European Cups. And Arsenal.
Do you know what I mean?
2, but I don't know if they're Champions Leagues.
But for how long have they not even been in that conversation? In that, like, since you had these
it's been
clubs,
a while. Yeah,
I mean,
definitely has,
Arsenal. Yeah, I get it. This is not a dig on Arsenal. This is a dig on Arsenal's ownership more than anything. Arsenal had a great history. We had great rivalries with them. I really did respect them as a club back in the day.
Yeah.
Today, I don't even respect my own club, let alone respecting Arsenal. But back in the day, I did respect them for what they did, for the French players they bought in and all of that, for Arsene Wenger coming in and changing football and challenging Ferguson and all of that. I like that about them. And then the owners came on, ruined all of that. So I'm talking about today as they stand, not about their history when I say this. But Tottenham and Arsenal, they shouldn't. How they even Man United for that matter? How do you even qualify a Super? What have you done that Super for the last 8 bloody years for Man United? Since Ferguson has left, you've been dog shit, mate. What are you talking about? What's Super about you? What, you're literally just doing this because you've got the big fan base.
Not only that, mate, you can say that about the 2 Italian teams as well, the Inter 2
absolutely.
teams.
There has been.
This should be. And even Atletico, Atletico have been up and about there this year, but they've only won a couple against Barca and Real recently, and it's to be honest, the whole thing's a bit of a joke. I just find it's very confronting. I think we're in a place where we don't know what to expect. We don't know what's going on next, and I think I'm hoping tomorrow I wake up and things have changed, which isn't going to happen, but we'll wait and see. Who knows?
Sorry, I'm absolutely furious because the more I think about it, the more it's making me mad, because I do think at its worst, it is actually breaking away and doing a whole different thing. At its best, it's a bloody bargaining tool for these clubs, and that's why I absolutely hate them, because I know one way or the other they're going to get what they want out of this. Because they've played their cards, they've showed everything they wanted to, and then even if they pull a few back, they're still going to end up with more cards on the table, basically, and they're gonna absolutely walk over the other teams one way or the other. So I'm distraught. I can't believe this is happening, and I don't know, for whatever. I hope everyone gets united and just bloody goes to the stadium, and I don't know if it's COVID and lockdown and all of that, and that's why they've used this opportunity to absolutely get away with it. But these protests should not stop. There should be a mass boycott everywhere for all of these 6 clubs. They should be feeling these effects massively. And I'm talking about boycotting them not only on the ground, but also on your television sets. Don't tune in, don't watch the games, and let them know how you feel about it. I'm certainly not going to watch the Man United game this week, just because I don't want to give them my view. I don't care about whoever else does. If now that he's confirmed, I wasn't sure up until this morning whether Joel Glaze is confirmed, and when I saw that, and this afternoon I saw that he's confirmed it, which means there's no turning away from it. I'm going to try and make it a little more difficult, even if it's a little bit of effort. That it maybe doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Maybe it does. We'll see.
Yeah, it's sad, dude. It really is sad. All right, well, we'll close up here. Maybe what we'll do is, if we are going to not watch our teams, we'll still encourage ourselves and watch the other teams. I think we should still support the guys who are playing football. And West Ham and Leicester are going to get on the end of this, which poor fuckers, Absolutely. To be honest. Like, I feel sorry for them because they're doing amazing this season, and this is going to ruin everything for them. Like, it's ridiculous. And if West Ham or Leicester win the league, it's going to feel bad for them, and they're not going to feel if it gets, it's not going to feel great. But that's all right. Anyway, guys,
call it like it is. Yeah.
Sorry,
I was going to say, sorry, just one last one. I was just going to say, call it like it is. Leicester, the likes of these smaller clubs, Leicester, for example, Leicester particularly feel bad for. They've shown everyone this year what it means to be a good team, scouting well with the resources they have, find everything together, gel everything together over the last couple of years, because they've produced gems after gems of players. Similarly with Southampton, they've given everyone good players, they've scouted, they've done the hard yards, and now, like, these clubs are going to be just taking away the cherry and running away with also the cake, and basically leaving them to rot there, which is absolutely shameful. So I mean, we'll wait and see. We'll have to just react to it as we go, and we'll see how we go, basically. But it's a sad day for football today.
It really is. It really is a sad and depressing day. All right, guys. Well, listen, comment below if you want us to talk about anything else, or give us some other topics to chat about as well with this. Let us know your opinions. But otherwise, take care, and let's hope we get sleep and not a nightmare.